Hey, welcome to this week's Moar Guitars weekly workshop video diary. It has been almost 2 years since the last one, and I've never really had the chance to start it up again. And I should probably explain what's been happening. Well, the guitar company, obviously Moar Guitars, has been growing, and I've been shipping guitars and working. It's been, if you follow me on any of my social media channels, apart from YouTube, you'll have seen how busy I've been. But this takes a bit more time to do because I have to have a relatively tidy desk and I have to look relatively clean, and this, I have to make time for it. But I'm doing it right now. Shortly after, or maybe just before the last diary was filmed back in January 2021, my partner and I discovered that she was pregnant and we needed to move house, and that meant needing to move workshop, which meant so many changes. And so yeah, basically since the last one, aside from building quite a few guitars, don't know exactly how many, but quite a few, moved workshop, had another daughter, moved to a different part of Denmark, and now an hour south of Copenhagen rather than in Copenhagen. Learned to drive, got a Volvo. What else has happened? That's basically it. Had a kid, bought a house, got a Volvo, done it all. Oh, got some sheep and some chickens. What else? Yeah, the workshop's pretty cool. It's we are solar powered, and I'm trying to use as little electricity as possible. The heat source is natural. We use scrapers as much as possible rather than sandpaper and stuff. The general practice of the shop is to be as green as possible, and basically all the power is provided by solar. And actually also, I said I had chickens and sheep. We have a large plot of land in front of the house, and I'm planting trees. I'm planting more trees than I'm using. But obviously it's a long time investment, but I think it's worth it. But anyway, yeah, that's what I've been up to. I've been building guitars and building a family and stuff. But here is, I thought it'd be fun to, I should probably do a video where I walk around this barn. I have my house is about 5 meters or maybe 10 meters. Through those windows at the back there is my home. And then this building is my son Oscar calls it Daddy's house, because this is where I live. And yeah, it's a lovely old barn. It's 104 years old, and it is starting to show it. So 2 stories. The upstairs is we're kind of in the early stages of renovating. We have put insulation up and some electrical cables, but we need to do some things to it. But it's going to be beautiful. But downstairs is basically where everything happens at the moment. We have clients visiting. We have amps set up down here, and I have a big table in the middle where I do my work, and I have an apprentice, Nuno, who sits over there. He's holding the camera right now. He's been sharpening knives all day for me so far. And behind the camera right now, which is not camera ready because it is a real tip, is where other things happen and other people sit. But yeah, I've been very busy. But there's a few. Let's just start with some guitars rather than doing the walk around, because the place is a tip. Because that's why we're here. I'm not very good at social media, but I'm quite good at putting guitars together. This is a roasted walnut Wayfarer, obviously. The whole thing, well, the fretboard is ebony, but the body and neck is roasted walnut. And it's actually like, things kind of come in trends. Like I have, like people order what they see. So it'll be like, I'll make a ton of like walnut guitars, and then last year it was Wenge, and the year before that was Wenge, and actually a lot of ash guitars 2 years ago. This year it's been walnut. I made a few walnut guitars last year, but this year I have a ton of walnut guitars. This is quite nice. It's it's really nice. Big old slab ebony fretboard, and this new headstock shape that I've been working on for maybe a year. I actually have quite a lot of design things I've been working on kind of behind the scenes, and it's tricky because I don't really know why I'm keeping it, but at the same time I feel like you need to kind of launch these things properly rather than just like releasing them. But anyway, yeah, here's a quite a nice headstock. Lovely tuners, lovely Wayfarer, very light. I've not weighed it yet. Let's see how much this thing weighs. I think it is around 3 kilos, which is quite light. We have it at it's 3.2, so just over 7 pounds, which is not too bad for you know. It's not too bad. Not my lightest, but not my heaviest at all. And it's nice. I mean, we did a really good fret job on this guitar. Really good fret job on this guitar. So actually, the action is set up at 0.75 mil right now for the 12th fret, which is incredibly low. I mean, it's really but it's I just want to play it. 2 humbuckers, obviously, mounted directly to the body. It's just great. It's very. I'm not sure it comes through in the video rather. It's very kind of alive and very quick under the hands. You know, some guitars it feels like you're having to kind of pull the sound out of it a little bit, but the sound's right there, and it's yeah, it's nice. Roasting woods is fantastic. Like you lose maybe 1 kilo of weight if you roast the neck and the body on a build. Like an unroasted walnut versus a roasted walnut, is everything being the same apart from wood roasting. It's often about 1 kilo lighter, and yeah, just a little bit better sounding. It's obviously talking about the tone of wood is a little bit of a contentious subject, but we'll get into that. If I can keep this up for more than 1 week, then we'll talk about that. And then here I have another thing I've been working on. There's actually a huge thing I've been working on that isn't public knowledge yet, because it's too soon. But part of that huge thing is I've been designing hardware for a while, and my guitars are so strange. I have to customize kind of everything. You know, my output jacks need to be really. Maybe you can see on this one actually. Like this output jack has been actually by the person holding the camera, really shaped to fit my guitars. They start off being maybe this wide, so we have to take a ton of material off. And you know, same with the trapeze tailpiece. Actually, these need to be heavily modified to fit my guitars. Bridges also. My guitars are very curvy. There's a curved top, of course, and I have designed this kind of cut-off T-style bridge that you see here. This is actually one of the first prototypes. We're getting them made in Spain. This is one of the first prototypes, and it's bendy while still being strong. And a fun thing is that it's built with these. Well, you can see a little bit. I can't give too many details away because we are early on in the process of making sure that no one else can copy the idea. The application has started, but we haven't finished it off yet. But it is actually tuned. If you kind of pring it when there's no strings on it hard enough, it actually rings. This one rings to an A. So I'm not sure if you can hear that in the camera, but there's a lot of artificial resonance. Hear that? I'm not sure if that comes across. If it doesn't come across, I look really strange. You must be able to hear that. Anyway, so I like one of the things I'm going for is these guitars that really feel alive and they have like a lot of sound in there. And this bridge is kind of part of that journey of hardware that's helping to get more out of the wood rather than dampening vibrations. I want as much vibration as possible, and then we can deal with feedback when it happens, if it happens. But it's yeah, it's not for sale yet. It's going to be for sale, I think, quite soon actually. This is the first announcement of this bridge, so if you have had the patience to not quit my YouTube channel in the past 2 years of me being dead on YouTube, then you are the first people to see one of the first prototypes of this bridge. So what do you do? But yeah, this will be on the market relatively soon. This is sold already, as are basically all of my guitars that I'm working on at the moment. But yeah, thank you for sticking around, and I will. Oh, actually, the weekly diary. Just building guitars, loads of guitars. I think the next ones that are coming up, I will I will quickly, if your camera stays there, I will show you. Here we have an 8-string baritone for a chap in London called Will, lovely guy. He's actually from a similar part of London as where I used to be from. P90 Firebird, 8-string baritone, but not like an 8-string for chugging, although maybe he can chug on it. It's going to be, the 2 middle strings are going to be doubled up like on a 12-string guitar, you know, with octaves. So this is going to be fun. 28-inch scale, slightly widen up, but you know, enough room for the 8 strings. It'll be lovely. I think it's going to be, hasn't had its final polish yet, but yeah, there's also, this is such like luthier douchery, knock on wood. Doesn't that sound great? Alright, it's a little bit flat. Anyway, this one. And then hopefully next week I'll be showing this with strings on it. I'm waiting for Japanese tail pieces to come, because it's going to have Japanese and stuff. I have a Wayfair over here that is another, this one's gorgeous actually. This is another roasted walnut guitar, 2P90s this time. It's going to get a Jazzmaster trem. And look at the bridge on, I mean not the bridge, the neck on that is just absolutely gorgeous. It's like, almost like kind of holographic. It's lovely. Lovely, 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 lovely. Yeah. So yeah, basically, I've not been filming YouTube videos because I've been building loads of guitars and moving house and having babies and driving in my lovely Swedish Volvo through the mountains, listening to J-pop. But thank you for watching. Next week, hopefully, this one should have strings on it. This one might have strings on it if the hardware arrives. And if not, then, well, I failed. Anyway, have a good week. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.